Hi guys, welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm your host, the INSANEBRIT, and this is this week's News Friday, where I talk about all the week's gaming news, gaming topics, etc., and movie news. Now, to give you a few updates on my channel, as it were, I've had a few questions coming from a few people, and I know maybe you guys are new here, maybe you don't know, maybe I don't talk about it enough, and I just do it and think you guys know. I don't know, so maybe you have to be told. I don't know, so I'll tell you it here and now. First and foremost, there is a food review tomorrow. I do them as when I can, here and there. Remember, this is a gaming channel, so I only do them sparingly here and there. Plus, I don't want to oversaturate my channel with it, because I know you guys get bored, so I'd rather give you it here and there. And it will either be a food review or an unboxing on average on a Saturday, Sunday, plus a sim. So there's only 1 or 2 videos per day on Saturday, Sunday. On the weekday, I release 2 videos per day at 7 PM UK time. So you'll get a game that's part 1, and you'll go part 2. A lot of you seem to skip part 1, which I don't understand, because you have to get into the game. I don't understand how you're just missing part 1. It's the important factor, the build-up, as it were. So I recommend checking out the last 2 videos that I do every single day at 7 PM and then 7:30 or whatever it is. You know, it might be half an hour apart. I do 2 videos per day, just to let you know, at 7 PM UK time. That's 5 days a week, by the way. So anyway, on with this week's News Friday. Now, my first story is to YouTuber Pewdiepie. I'm not going to touch too much on it, but Pewdiepie has basically been making some Nazi and Hitler jokes in a few of his videos, 3 or 4 of them, which apparently amassed about 23 million views. He has taken them down, but it all came to a head basically the other day when about a week or 2 ago, I won't lie, where he went onto Fiverr.com, where you can pay people a bit of money to do some certain services, make you a banner, or whatever it is. You know, I used Fiverr just recently, and it was pretty cool. I was lucky enough to have someone who understood exactly what I wanted, and as you can see, it's great work. I absolutely love it. Basically, he paid 2 guys, I think it was from India, somewhere like that, to write "Death to All Jews" as a dare kind of thing. Will they do it? Won't they do it? And apparently, they didn't know what they were doing, or so they said. They did it. There was a backlash, and people, I think, unsubbed to him, criticized him. Of course, YouTube wasn't happy with him. The Fiverr people actually shut down his account, and shut down the guys that made the account. He did feel bad about that, and he explained to Fiverr that it wasn't their fault, and they reinstated their channel, thank God. I think that's fair of him. He also sent them $1,000 as an apology, or to say, look, sorry you lost money, I know it was your way of life, and, you know, or how you make money, so here's $1,000, and I think that's quite good of him to have done that. Whatever. Ultimately, though, what he did do was wrong. I would never say it's a right thing to do. Picking on a race or certain people, whatever it is, you just can't do that, no matter what kind of YouTuber you are, unless you're going for that kind of negativity all day long, or maybe you're really right wing in the aspect of what you're doing. But he's a gaming channel, he's a vlog channel, he does comedy sketches and stuff like that, so he's comedy may be edgy, and there might be some dark humor there. I believe it was more or less just for comedy incidents, not real hate there, but nonetheless, you know, you can't stick with that narrative, and when you're as big as you are going to attract a lot of attention, especially YouTube have already started punishing him by cancelling his show Scare Pewdiepie. They've also taken him off the I think it was the Google Preferred, which is a service for brand safe. Also, a division of Disney Maker Studio has cut all ties with him as well. He says that the revenue basis, he don't get much revenue like that, or because of his edgy content, people don't want to be associated with him. Therefore, they don't want like their products, you know, on his channel, which is is your own choice, to be honest with you. If you make certain content, you have to respect the fact that certain brands don't want to be seen on your channel. I don't blame them for that. That's a reality, and you are, you know, if I do something specifically and it's negative and people don't want to be associated with me because of my views or whatever, I understand that. That's the decision I made. So unless he wants to change that, he can go along and do his and cut doing whatever he does, and do something a lot more weaker or less extreme or edgier, you know what I mean? But I think that stifles creativity either way. I would never do it myself. I personally am who I am. If you don't want to advertise on my channel, then don't. you know, I wouldn't call myself extreme in any way, shape or form. I swear a lot, and that's, you know, I got moaned at by somebody who complained that I was swearing during a Lego game. I've probably sworn in this video. I don't even remember. See what I mean? It's the way I am, through and through, and I will never change. So you either love me or hate me for that. So I think, you know, it's pretty stupid when, you know, he says stuff like that, because, you know, you make that decision. That's your own choice. Like I said, it's wrong for what he did ultimately, and like I said, he's being punished for it. My overall view of it, though, is that when I look at PewDiePie and I see his content where he was doing daily vlogs and trying to entertain people, and when he's doing gaming, he said himself he's actually bored of gaming. So if you look at that aspect, I just look at him and say, look, you're on top of the world, you've got 50 million subs, you are generally bored. You are bored of YouTube. I suggest strongly, with the millions of pounds he's got and everything, you can afford to take a holiday, get the fuck away from YouTube for about 2 months, or go and I personally, if I had that kind of money, would go around doing other collaborations with other YouTubers, writing or you know, making sketches or starring in other YouTubers' videos, in terms of maybe the likes of Freddie Wong, who's a big YouTuber on here, does massive productions. That would be pretty cool to see. He's got the, you know, the personality for it, as it were, along with other, you know, big YouTubers. That would be kind of cool. Get away from what you're doing and be on YouTube still, but be on, you know, show up on other channels. That would be pretty cool. You've got the, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to turn you down. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a pretty positive thing, and it would just, you'd still be there, still making money, and still doing something, but just very creatively different. You know what I mean? And I think that's a smart thing to do. Or just, like I said, take a 2-month break, point blank, and clear your head and get interested in YouTube again. You know what I mean? Just have a break from it. I think he's burned out, and I think that's why he's gone a bit downhill, or, you know, made some mistakes there. That's my overall opinion. You know, I don't really want to criticize him, but though everyone makes mistakes, and he has made one, and he's being punished for it nonetheless. Next up, Overwatch apparently could be getting a TV series. Blizzard kind of let slip. They do plan to expand on the series, adding more characters, more maps, and game modes. And I quote, linear, I think that's linear media. I don't know if I'm getting the pronunciation right, so my mistake. Which basically refers to TV shows, comics, and books. They say this is to help deepen the connection with a franchise and bring it to new audiences. That'd be pretty cool and interesting. I don't play Overwatch myself. I know there's a lot of people that do. It's very, very popular. So the idea of seeing a TV show wouldn't be that bad. And considering the fact that they've already done this with likes of Netflix on Skylanders. No, I have not watched Skylanders, and I do not intend to. So it's not an exaggeration to say, hey, you could actually, you know, go and make a TV show with Overwatch. The audience is there 100%. You want to bring this to new audiences. I would definitely watch it just to have a look. I don't expect anything massively brilliant in terms of killing or murdering or something like that. I think it's going to be a kid's show. It is what it is. That's what it, you know, it's just the way it's going to be. But I'll give it a look in, see what it's like. If I enjoy it, I'll watch it. If not, I'll just turn it off. But it would be a good thing. I wouldn't mind that. With all the video games to movie franchises going on, and they often get panned or like, oh, it's terrible or whatever. Maybe to make them into TV shows would be actually a better thing, because the production would be a lot less, but also the pressure would be off. So you wouldn't have to cram an entire story of Assassin's Creed or whatever into a 90-minute movie or 2-hour movie. You could, I mean, if you look at like the Daredevil, which was, I think personally was shit, well, the first movie, and then they actually made it into a TV series. The TV series was a lot better. I very much enjoyed it. I recommend you go watching it. So I think that actually video games to TV series would be a smarter bet. I think that's the way forward for video games. You can get more in the content in terms of filmmaking or the series making, you know, from what happens to the beginning and middle, and this happens, that happens. And you know what I mean? You could really break it down and even go into season 2. There's a lot of potential for that. And I think that if Netflix was smart or someone like that, they would start talking to a few game companies about making series about, you know, their big budget games. I'd love to see that. That'd be pretty awesome. We might actually get an actual story in Destiny, the first one, and find out what the fuck happened in that war, where he could have told me. Prick. Anyway, Speaking of Netflix, Archer Season 8 is coming out. Now, it did get the go-ahead for Season 8 and 9, but Season 8 apparently goes back in time into 1947, which looks very interesting. I like the idea of that. If you don't know Archer, I highly recommend you get on Netflix and watch it. It's one of my favourite shows ever. Basically like an American version of James Bond. It's fucking hilarious. Drinking, sex, everything. I don't think it's for kids, but it's certainly young adult, as it were, 14, 15, 16 up. It's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, Seven Deadly Sins, the anime, which is on Netflix also, is coming out for season 2. I've got an email off Netflix today saying that was being put on there, and I think that's on there now. I can check that out. You can check that out after this video if you want, or you can keep on watching Walking Dead, whatever, I don't know, I'm just saying it's on my channel. Yeah, so that's very interesting. I recommend you watching that as well. It's another anime recommendation of mine. Next up in movie news, actually, is Bioshock. There was rumor of a Bioshock movie. Well, how close did the Bioshock movie come? Well, it comes in at 8 weeks away from production. It was so close to being made. 8 weeks away, and then it got canned. Universal Studios basically said that they were worried, but with such a big budget, it wanted assurances that it would be more like a PG-13, because they were worried that they would lose tons and tons of money. And at that time, in 2013, the R-rated movies weren't doing so good. They were actually getting canned, and now apparently the director, or former person who was going to direct it, I think Yavinsky, I can't remember his name, basically said that those movies weren't doing well, but now things have changed. So there may be a chance to resurrect the movie. He says himself he does not know if he would be interested in going back. As someone who had the whole universe that had to be built and had a mindset for this and what he was going to do, and then 8 weeks away to be totally ripped away from you, I suppose he's still hurting over that or pissed off about it. I don't blame him for that. It also went to other directors as well, but for whatever reason, they canned it as well and said, no, we don't want to do it no more. And it's just been sitting there. But I never played the first game. I played the last game. And it was really, really good. And dark and interesting. So I'd love to see the first one being made into a movie, get into a series. And that's a potential winner there, because you've got the fans already. And then, we could see the movie and then see the second and third maybe if they decide to make it. But again, I suppose it goes back to that adage of, well, is it going to be good? Should we make a TV series about it? I don't know. Be very interesting to watch though, movie or not. Movie I'll say because of big budget, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be a bit scary for a lot of gaming fans. Me personally, I would love to see it either way. That's a positive. So we'll have to wait and see on that. That's just a rumor. For whether it comes back is a different story. My final two stories here are, one of them's kind of negative and one of them's kind of positive. The first one is Crash Bandicoot. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll give you a heads up. Crash Bandicoot Insane goes on sale on June 30th for $40, possibly about 30 quid for the likes of the UK. I had great memories playing that with my dad back in the day on PS1. I'm surprised it took them this long to get them to come out with this particular HD collection or whatever. Well, I wouldn't even call it HD collection. It's actually a whole game has been rebuilt, like remade up to today's standards. So you're going to get a good quality game. Well, you do get 3 games in the actual packet, but what do you get? So you get Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot Warped, apparently. Like I said, so there's 3 big games there. Very interested to play them. I haven't been on a platformer in a while. The likes of Mario, I mean, is the only thing I can really remember. Well, Crash Bandicoot is my Mario, you know what I mean? It is the PlayStation, like icon in my opinion. Along maybe with Tomb Raider, you could argue. Now it's switched to Xbox or whatever, but on both platforms. So I'm very excited to actually see Crash Bandicoot back. And hopefully this promotes them to make a whole brand new game, you know what I mean, with a new, I wouldn't say new story, new whatever, you know what I mean, it's going to be epic. So I hope this does well, this particular game, as a fan of a franchise. Next up, Capcom Japan, apparently in 2013, offered Capcom Vancouver 2 specific projects, an RPG, which I don't know what it was, well, I can't pronounce the name, nor do I give a shit about it, and Dino Crisis the reboot. Now, I've spoken about Dino Crisis before, and I will do it again. And guess what they went with? Yes, the RPG piece of shit, whatever that crap was. Where Dino Crisis is still being left and is able to be done as maybe a HD remake or an entirely new reboot, It remains to be seen. It can still be accessible to whoever wants it, but they haven't pushed on ahead with it, whatever, regardless. I'm still waiting for my fucking reboot. It was basically Resident Evil, just with dinosaurs. Very much loved the game. I can't believe that they still haven't made a Dino Crisis HD remake, or even, you know, a whole new game out of it. There's tons of fans there for it. Absolutely loved the game. Even though it was old school, and I don't like a lot of old school stuff, but it was just a brilliant game. And I'm very disappointed they still haven't got that. I mean, the idea they were offered it and fucking didn't go for it, I'm really fucking annoyed at. Pissed off at it. I might tweet them about it later on. I weren't a fan of that bullshit one where they had it in space. There's a fucking dinosaur in space. I had a helmet on, breathing and shit. This fucking thing seemed to have breathed in space, as it were. He was fine. Like, what the fuck is that about? Fucking what idiot said, oh, dinosaurs in space? How did that pass the meeting? I would have laughed at you and fucking possibly shot you, you know what I mean? What a fucking idiot. So I don't know who the hell was in charge of that creative decision. So I don't want to see any bullshit with it. But, I don't know. I'm still holding out for Dino Crisis. Might tweet them in a minute. Don't know what I'm going to tweet them. Something like, we demand Dino Crisis, fuckheads. No, you can't be rude on Twitter. No, it's never nice to be rude to the developers or whatever, but it gets you nowhere, in my opinion. But I will tweet them about it and maybe ask them just if there's any news or an update on will they be making a Dino Crisis. That would be kind of cool. And if more people do it, the more they'll be like thinking about it. It is their product, you know what I mean? They can do what they want with it, but it'd be nice to go back in the series itself and get a 2017 or 18 Dino Crisis. That'd be fucking epic. I would love to see it. I ain't had a dinosaur game, and I think that would really break away from a lot of games currently in this generation, or just in general, you know what I mean? Well guys, that's about it for this week's New Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to find as many stories as I can to talk about this week on YouTube, gaming related topics and stuff like that. Couldn't find a whole lot. Like I said, news is pretty thin here and there, but it is what it is. Anyway guys, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, all in the link in the description below. And remember, the food review is tomorrow, plus a simulation that comes out on Sunday. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.